Nikolai, a man in his late 50s, sat alone in his dimly lit apartment. His heart felt heavy, burdened by the weight of 2 failed marriages. The silence of his solitude was a constant reminder of his unfulfilled longing for love and companionship. Life, it seemed, had lost its spark. His days were spent in a monotonous routine, devoid of the joy and excitement he had once dreamed of. Nikolai often found himself lost in thought, wondering where it all went wrong. He had always believed in love, in the power of 2 souls connecting and embarking on a shared journey. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. His first marriage, filled with youthful passion, had crumbled under the weight of unmet expectations. His second attempt at matrimony, a more mature and considered affair, had also ended in bitter disappointment. Now, as he looked back on his life, Nikolai couldn't shake the feeling that he had been living a half-lived existence. The dreams he had cherished, the hopes he had nurtured, all seemed to have slipped through his fingers like grains of sand. One dreary afternoon, as Nikolai browsed through a stack of old magazines, his eyes fell upon a captivating image. It was a reproduction of a famous icon, the Virgin Mary, her eyes gazing down with an expression of infinite tenderness and compassion. Something about the image stirred within him, a flicker of hope in the darkness of his despair. He carefully tore the page from the magazine, his fingers tracing the outline of the Virgin's serene face. As he gazed at the picture, he felt a strange sense of peace wash over him, a calmness he had not experienced in years. An idea began to take shape in his mind, a desperate plea for guidance and intervention. He decided to place the image on his bedside table, where he could see it every day. Every night, before drifting off to sleep, Nikolai would whisper a silent prayer to the Virgin Mary, pouring out his heart's desire. He prayed for a second chance at love, for a companion to share his life with, someone who would understand and cherish him. Nikolai's prayers became a source of solace and strength in his otherwise empty days. He clung to the belief that the Virgin Mary, in her infinite mercy, would hear his pleas and guide him towards the love he so desperately craved. He recalled a time in his youth, during his military service in the city of Vanino, when he had met a young woman named Zinaida. Their encounter had been brief, a fleeting moment in time, but Zinaida's warm smile and infectious laughter had left an indelible mark on his soul. He remembered her kindness, her genuine interest in his life, and the way she made him feel seen and understood. As the years passed, the memory of Zinaida had faded, but it had never truly left him. He had often wondered what had become of her, if life had treated her kindly. Now, as he sought a way out of his loneliness, Zinaida's face resurfaced in his mind, a beacon of light in the darkness. Could she be the answer to his prayers? Could fate have brought them together once more? The more Nikolai thought about Zinaida, the more convinced he became that she was the missing piece in his life's puzzle. He yearned to hear her voice again, to see her smile, to tell her how much her brief presence had meant to him all those years ago. But how could he find her after all this time? He had no idea where she lived, what she did, or even if she was still alive. The only clue he had was the city where they had met, Vanino. It was a long shot, he knew, but it was all he had. Determined to find her, Nikolai began his search. He spent hours poring over old phone directories, his fingers tracing down countless names, hoping to stumble upon Zinaida's. He called every information service he could find, his heart sinking with each dead end. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. But Nikolai refused to give up hope. He clung to the belief that the Virgin Mary was guiding his path, leading him closer to his destiny.